tropic. Ice to the tropic. Ice to the tropics. This is a Greek word. Greek word that came from isos and tropo, I think it is. Way, equal, and way. Equal and way. They're equal pressures, but they're opposite. Right in their faces. Ice to the tropics. The two fields, two systems that science hides from you. But they expose it in the solar winds, because the solar winds are the magnetic fields. There's pressure, wind, it's all meteorology. Magnetism, pressure, negative, electrons, whatever. But there you have it, there's the two systems, that's how it works. You can't deny it. Flipping word there, right there, telling you. Ice to the tropics. Out of the Arctic, Antarctic, to there. It's pulled down through the earth. So you're getting the opposite reaction. Let me read what it means. Isotropy is a uniformity of all orientations. It is derived from the Greek word, blah, 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 right down the bottom here. Isotropic radiation has the same intensity regardless of the direction of measurement, and an isotropic field exerts the same action regardless of how the test particle is oriented. Mathematics. Manifold is isotropic if the geometry on the manifold is the same regardless of the direction. The same concept of homogeneity. Oh, that gets a bit complicated. Let's go, oops. Let's go back to physics. Quantum mechanics. When a spinless particle, that gets a bit technical too. Here we go. Numbers, moving direction. Kinetic theories of gases. We're talking about gases here too. We've got atmospheric layers. Pressure, gases, frequencies. That's what it's all about. It's all there. Pressure, kinetic theory of gases. Is also an example of isotropy. It is assumed that the molecules move in random directions, and as a consequence there is an equal probability of molecules moving in any direction. It's an equal system. Thus, when there are many molecules in the gas with a high probability, there will be a very similar number moving in one direction as there is in the other. And that's how Earth works. It's all equal, has to be equal, and it's the dual system. North-south, north-south. Previous video describes it. Check out Edward Halley. Edmund Halley. There's 11 degrees. You're not going to find it very easily though. 11 degree arcs he came up with. You could have found it a couple of years ago. But as soon as I started making these videos, I go back and they've taken it, hidden it, changed things. Changing history before your eyes. Electromagnetics. An isotropic medium is one such that the permeativity E and the permeability, some weird figure, of the medium are uniform in all directions of the medium. The simplest instance being free space. Blah blah blah. Cosmology. The Big Bang theory of the evolution of the observable universe assumes that the space is isotropic. Yeah. Because you've got two systems in the night sky. Around Polaris, around Sigma Octantis. It also assumes that the space is homogeneous, which sounds pretty stupid to me. These two assumptions together are known as the cosmological principle. As of 2006, the observations suggest that on distant scale, much larger than galaxies, Galaxy clusters are great features, but small compared to so-called multiverse scenarios. Here, homogeneous means that the universe is the same everywhere, no preferred location, and isotropic implies that there is no preferred direction. Well, that's probably referring to dark matter, because it's already there, everything is dark. The light from the sun just exposes everything to us. But they know the Milky Way is the centre, and they know everything's rotating and moving. How can they say that? They must be referring to dark energy. It's always there. It's motionless, it's there. Don't ever find any dark energy, it's just there. It's a black canvas, a blank canvas. And everything is projected from the centre here. Everything comes out of the centre. We are star children, we are created from light and frequencies, from nothing. Because it comes from the black hole that we don't even see. Nothing. Everything is amplified out from the black hole, centre of the earth, in here. The godly power that man will not accept because it's not earthly. So isotropic, having a physical property which has the same value when measured in different directions. Isotropic, ice to the tropic, ice to the tropic, right in their faces. How can you deny it? They know this system, the solar winds. They can't hide it. They're just hiding the fact that the magnetic field is not in the solar winds, but it's all the same thing. The solar winds, magnetic field, and pressure. It's all in meteorology. It's all there. All adds up. Can't deny it. And what I've been saying in a few videos is we all have our own horizons. And this is how we see everything up in the sky. And nothing's physical. It's all projections of light. We all have our own horizons. You're standing here. That's your horizon. Everything's directional towards you. So the sun sits here. All the frequencies, different atmospheric layers, the frequencies, colours you do not see, except they compact down to one. That's the sun. If you could see behind the sun, maybe, you might be able to see all the colours. But they all condense up to make the white light. 6 plus the 7, plus the white light makes the 7. All the stars, the moons, it's all the same. It all sits in, this is your firmament. The firmament. And I just came across this the other day. In Ezekiel 1:22. It was posted online, someone else posted, and I looked into it, and there you go. It goes like this. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures, because we're all living creatures, we're all one, it states that in Plato, was as the colour of the terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above. It's 1:22, but if you go back to 19, and when the living creatures went, wheels went by them. Your horizon moves with you. The wheels went by them, and when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. This is like if you head for the moon might look 200 miles away. You keep heading straight towards it, it's going to keep going. It's going to stay 200 miles away from you. Just like all the other celestial bodies. But we can get up on a plane and we can fly amongst them and the stars disappear. You'll see stars down below you. How do you get that? 20. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. We are part of the whole system. It's light and frequencies. We are connected to it. Our eyeballs give us break down the frequencies into lights, into objects. Nothing is physical, only our senses perceive it as physical. Waters above and waters below is atmospheric moisture. This is how you see a rainbow. atmospheric moisture. It's all described in the Bible. It's described, Plato describes it all. Hermes and Trismegistus describe it all. Yeah, there's actually more of this in the another one I'm reading. Hermes and Trismegistus. So it's all revealed if you want to look for it. If you believe science, you're a sucker. If you think you live on a spinning ball and the magnetic field comes out of here for no reason and actually gets all the way around here for no reason, why would it leave there to get round to there? Huh? And there's nothing here to connect it. Why? No. These two fields are exactly the same. They've lied to you for years. They've known for a couple hundred years. It's a dip compass or dip, both north and south. They're exactly the same. That is exactly the same as that. The attraction is the tropics. The low pressure. They go to the tropics. So they say this field goes all the way to the north. Well, it doesn't, does it? It travels north, but it goes to there. This is why we have different compasses. You can't use the same compass down here as you use up there. You've got to spin the needle around, put the point on the other end. And it's got to be balanced, because if you come close to here, it'll start dipping down into the ground. You get up to here, it will sit level, because you've got the dual system. So it should sit like that, but if you're using a dip compass, it will actually point up, because this high pressure is coming down. So dip compass will point down, but up here. But the modern systems they have will show it sitting horizontally, because you've got a field there and a field there. And these are the magnetic fields that we will travel on. You'll never go from A to B straight, unless you do you've got a pretty good computer system that calculates this 11-degree arc. Otherwise you'll be following this arc all the way to there. And then you've got to rearrange the system to make sure you get back around to there if you want to go to centre north. And science will just confuse you by thinking that all this involves that little spot up there. It's not going to affect you too much when you're way down here, that little difference between geomagnetic north and geographical north, is it? No, it's this big problem here. Check out my last video, Edmund Halley. That's all I wanted to say. Isotropic, ice to the tropics. It's a no-brainer right there in your faces, boys. Spot you later.